You're listening to the Blizzard Community Podcast, produced by geeks, for geeks. Welcome to Geeks of Azeroth.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 192 of Geeks of Azeroth. My name's Tarly. With me, as always, we've got Britza.
Hey, multitasking Britza.
And we've got Icarus, back from the dead.
Yellow.
Well, we'll start with you, Icarus, since you've been away for 2 weeks. What have you been up to in the land of video games?
I've actually been playing a ton of Heroes in my off time, and I don't know, it's just been kind of fun. I'm still enjoying the silvery work. I think her mind control ult is kind of like, I don't know. You manage to sling that past an entire team's front line and hit their heel, and you're like, guys, we just got a free kill.
How's the new guy?
Oh yeah, Imperius came out. So I don't know. I really like him because I play a lot of brawlers like Sonya and Varian, Twin Blade only. And like, it's hard to say. Like, if you can't, his Q's so hard to aim because like he lunges and it's like this tiny little like it's just the tip of his spear. Like that's literally the range of it, and then you pick people up and you put them down. I don't know. It's kind of cool. I enjoy him.
Oh, yep. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say he's pretty tanky too. Like there's a lot of weird self healing that comes from nowhere.
Oh, nice. Britza, what have you been up to?
What have I been up to? Wow. A little game called World of Warcraft. And yeah, that's about it actually. I'm still kind of getting into the other games for New Year. And plus there's loads of other stuff happening in the background. Like I've been playing Warhammer Total War quite a bit, getting ready for Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2, which is probably what will take up the weekend of 25th, 26th. But generally just playing WoW, gearing up through not Darkshore Warfront, but just the Darkshore Res. Actually, I've been finding that a really good source of gear. I've got quite a few 380 pieces, plus nice. Blackport mount, which was pretty handy. So anyone who's looking to gear, or maybe if you're like me, you're trying to get up ready for LFR Siege, then I suggest Darkshore.
Now, do you have to raid anymore? It seems like you can get pretty well geared just from doing everything else but raiding. I mean, obviously there's like best in slot pieces and stuff, but aside from that,
I mean, I'll be honest. I think you could, you could probably get round most things without raiding, but I think the time it would take to gear up is obviously a lot longer because there's too much RNG with some of the gear, and also for some reason, despite my eye level hitting like sort of 350 and going up from there, the world quest is still chucking trash at me. So soon that little pool of gear dries up. So yeah, but that again, I want to get into raiding, a proper raiding again. So because I feel like LFR just isn't cutting it anymore. Well, at least more people seem to be coming into LFR, which means that I don't want to be there because I want to be alone.
Well, well, I remember, if you remember what we talked about last week, I said that by this time next week I'd probably be back into World of Warcraft, and lo and behold, I have resubbed and I'm back, baby. And there is so much to do. So it feels good to be back in WoW a bit. Lots to do, doing the Darkshore stuff, super cool. The zone looks awesome. Lots of new war campaign stuff to do, and of course all the world quests. All of them. So yeah, playing WoW again. Maybe I'll get back into raiding too. I don't know. Possibility. What else? Oh yeah, Nakumo, our fan, he reminded me yesterday. So that Resident Evil 2, we were talking about the remaster. We talked about that last week. So there was a 30-minute demo that came out that you could just see how far you can get in the game in 30 minutes. And I made it about 10 minutes before I instinctively Alt F4'd because the game freaked me out so much. I was like, holy shit. So that's cool. I may end up having to play that game in its entirety, but I don't know if I could make it through. Maybe I'll just watch streamers, but yeah.
I believe in you.
Was playing it. And so I think Scott Johnson tweeted him playing it, and he screamed like a little girl.
I was watching like the zombie try to break down a door, and then one came up behind me, and I was so, yeah. I forgot that Resident Evil actually used to be a scary game and not just some action shooter. So, yeah, good stuff.
Oh, that's not for me. That's not for me.
So let's dive right into it. Big story. There's no way we're breaking this news to you unless you've lived under a rock. Bungie has officially broken its partnership with Activision and has taken the rights to Destiny. This is huge. This is huge news. This is good news. It's like some people are like, what is this good? No, this is great. Now Bungie is independent. They have full control over Destiny. And I myself, who said I would never touch another Destiny game again, damn it, I'm going to buy Destiny 3. I've actually been playing Destiny 2 this week too, since the news has been making me want to play Destiny because it's still good. It's a decent game. So it's all right.
Everyone's like, not Bungie. We love Destiny now.
Well, it's like all the news about it. I'm like, you know what? I kind of want to play Destiny again, you know? But yeah, this is huge. This is great news. A lot of this was coming from a lot of people at the higher ups in Activision just didn't see Destiny as a success. You know, they're making hundreds of millions of dollars, just not good enough for Activision. But this is great. Now Bungie has full control over the future of Destiny. They don't have to release stuff on an annualized content cycle like Activision was requiring them to do. So less rushed content, obviously, hopefully less microtransactions. Yeah, this is good news overall for Destiny.
I think, yeah, I mean, it's hopeful news. I mean, I do feel that it's only ending the partnership 2 years before it would have done, because it was going to go up until 2020. So, you know, at least it still did 8 years of a 10-year contract. But the only thing I caveat is, I think, you know, you say, oh, we're going to buy Destiny 3. I hope there's enough money in the pot to fund a Destiny 3. And also, I would say that Bungie, whilst Bungie has this had this partnership with Activision, it wasn't like Activision owned Bungie or anything like that. Whereas NetEase did put $100 million into Bungie and do own a stake in it. So, you know, there are actual proper partnerships that Bungie has that might.
The NetEase thing. Those of you who are unaware, NetEase last summer actually invested $100 million to Bungie, and NetEase, the same guys behind Diablo 4 or Diablo Immortal, excuse me. Yeah, they invested in Bungie, but that's for a separate game entirely. That is for a completely new project that Bungie's going to be working on, not Destiny. Otherwise,
Halo 5.
There's already a Halo 5.
6. Sorry, I'm out of the loop.
That's not by different studio though.
Yeah,
that's not by
Halo Infinite's coming for 343. But what I think is going to happen is I think we're not going to get Destiny 3 next year, as was predicted. I bet Destiny 3 they're going to take their time with it. They're going to fix everything. They're going to try to listen to the community and try to make a game that they've always wanted to do without Activision's hand in the pot, basically. Then hopefully, instead of then just releasing Destiny 4, Destiny 5, they can just expand on Destiny 3 as the MMO was always meant to be, right? Like, that's kind of the prediction where Destiny's going to go from here. Definitely look forward to it. Now, the other side of the coin is everybody's like, Blizzard, you do the same thing. Blizzard, you split from Activision. It's not that simple, unfortunately, where Bungie was they were partnered, they were in a contract with Activision. In this case, Activision and Blizzard are both subsidiaries of Activision Blizzard, which is one company. So for them to split off, it'd be way, way, way more complicated. And to think that would solve any of the current problems in Blizzard, not necessarily, because all the people who worked in the glory days of Blizzard, they're all gone anyway. So you don't get your hopes up that the same thing's going to happen with Blizzard. But this is good news for Bungie. Good news for Destiny fans, for sure. There are also reports from Jason Schreier, the Kotaku guy, that when it was announced in Bungie, the staff just cheered, like champagne was popping. People were just ecstatic within the company itself. So, yeah, they definitely wanted to be away from Activision. Yeah.
Obviously, there is a serious impact on Blizzard games, though, because Destiny will disappear from Battle.net soon.
Not Destiny 2. Destiny 2 will continue.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wondered they were going to get snapped up by Epic Games or something like that.
Destiny 3 most likely will not be on the Battle.net launcher. They could make some partnership, but Destiny 2, Blizzard and Activision have already come out and said that Destiny 2 will continue to get support from Battle.net. So,
sweet.
You don't have to worry about that. But this is interesting, though, to see how Activision is going to change, because Activision now only has Call of Duty. And Call of Duty, year after year, again, like, even if it's the top-selling game of every year, it still disappoints their investors, apparently. The investors are not happy with Call of Duty. So what happens if Call of Duty keeps getting worse, and then Blizzard games are the only thing that they have influence over? Yeah, it's going to be an interesting year, I think.
Tony Hawk and Spyro and Guitar Hero.
No. When was the last Tony Hawk game?
Wait, do they own Spyro?
I think
well, they republished the remastered one recently.
Did they?
That was Activision?
Yeah. I see it at BlizzCon 2019. Guys, you've been waiting for the new Tony Hawk game. Here it is.
I tweeted this out the other day. I'm even more confident that there will not be a BlizzCon this year. I really think so.
Well, I'll be. It really was published by Activision. I can't believe I played that awesome game. Now I know it was made by them. God damn it!
See, Activision's not an evil company. It used to make some really good games.
I mean, they did, yeah. Icarus, I know you. Out of the three of us, you definitely played Destiny the most. What are your thoughts on everything that's happened here?
Like, I'm excited for it, but at the same time, I'm like hesitant, because this gives Bungie the opportunity to go down one of two paths in my mind. They can either keep the same format and it's just going to be Titan Warlock Hunter forever, and then they just keep adding different colors of animations you get. I'm not even kidding. I was 100% sure that they were going to add some green type of shit to the game instead of giving everybody just new abilities for the same colors, or like fire.
Everybody gets fire. Yeah.
yeah. Instead of they just get new
poison.
Specials.
Now everybody gets poison.
Yeah, things like that. I was pretty sure that was going to happen. So like, I hope they either get something like that, like add a new type of damage to the game, or they give us like a whole new set of classes.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting tired of the Hunter, Titan, Warlock, because it's like, cool, I'm going to make 3 Titans because they're Titans.
Yeah, Kale, we do notice that Icarus's voice is sexier than normal. We're not sure why, but we're really enjoying it.
I'm so glad that's on the stream, not just in our ears.
I'm going to need to like turn on my fucking stream real quick so I can hear this.
What about the puzzle recently? I know it's not really Blizzard news, but they had the puzzle thing recently, didn't they? Where they put the puzzle into the game and it was impossible to solve, so they had to
in Destiny
change it. Yeah, in Destiny, I haven't played Destiny for a while, so I've only been following the news recently. But what happened was they released the new piece of content.
Oh, the black armor.
Gated it behind this puzzle, and so it came out on launch day. It'd be like putting the siege behind a mount puzzle or something like that, and then it was impossible to solve. And it just that made me giggle, because that to be honest could still happen under this lack of new partnership. But it's a really cool idea. I did like the idea. Imagine if they I heard a couple of content creators suggest the idea, what if, say for WoW, you could get early access to a raid a week early by solving a puzzle?
Yeah,
that'd be sweet.
That'd be interesting.
So a bit of a tangent there, but still.
What I'd want to see out of Destiny 3, Destiny 2 just really seemed like a slightly graphical improve, and then just a rehash of old content from Destiny 1, really. Like, it felt more like an expansion than a sequel, right? Like, I want to see Destiny 3, like, again, like in Destiny 2, we had all the same enemy types, like literally no new enemy types from 1 to 2. We need some new enemy races. Like Icarus said, I'd like to see new classes. Let's just make it feel like an entirely new game.
the like, so I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with how, like, am I on?
Mhm.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
You
so
sound
for some
great,
reason
look.
my Audacity just turned itself off, so looks like you're getting
Aw.
that from somewhere else entirely. My bad.
Lost the sexy
so-
voice though.
Yeah.
Did it really fix that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what I did. I just kind of unplugged everything and plugged it back in. The good old fix it. Anyways, so like, oh fuck, where was I? Oh yeah. Anyway, so like how like a lot of people hated how the lore was presented in Destiny, but like if you go through all the Grimoire cards and all that other shit, or I just YouTube the lore like I did, and there's like literally 30 hours of it that you can find on there. It's like in depth. There are a ton of races. There are sky dragons that we don't even fucking know about or have seen, and it's just like I want to see that. I don't want to shoot the Taken or the Fallen or the other people anymore. I just want to see it. I don't want to kill it. I want to ride it. I want a space dragon. That's what I want instead of a sparrow.
Yeah, let's really flesh out the story. I mean, growing up, like Halo 1, 2, and 3, I loved those games, and not just for the multiplayer, but the storyline was so good. Like, Bungie knows how to tell a good story. So let's put some of that story actually into the game and not in Grimoire cards or other places you have to search elsewhere.
They started to do that actually in Destiny 2, but then they're like, just kidding, you gotta go read stuff
apparently, Forsaken, right? That was this year's big expansion.
I honestly haven't played the new stuff, but
apparently
I kinda
it's really
wanna know.
good. The people say it has changed the game for people who currently play Destiny. It's really good. So maybe I'll check it out. I've been leveling a new character in Destiny 2. We'll see. But yeah, big news. But we have a lot to talk about, so we're gonna move on. Now let's hope this works out for Bungie. So moving on, World of Warcraft has added a tribute to Stan Lee in the Alliance capital in the Stormwind Keep. There's now a skinny-looking dude named Stan Lee, and he runs into the throne room and yells, "Excelsior!" Very good.
It's going to get really annoying like 5 months from now.
Poor Anduin, he's just going to have to listen to that over and over again all day. But I mean, that's cool. That's a good.
No, sorry, I was gonna imagine like months from now with the faction wars heating up. He's trying to rally the council to around us, going on one again. The alliance are about to draw swords on each other. Oh god damn it, Stanley!
Yeah. So
We're trying to have a diplomatic discussion here. Excelsior! It's like the new Leroy.
Yeah, new Leroy Jenkins. Yeah. Let's see, Blizzard Gear. A new addition to the Blizzard Gear store. They've added a big print of Jaina Proudmoore, a limited edition. I guess it's a new art series they're going to be adding periodically to the Blizzard Gear that will be like that'll come in and out. It won't always be available. So if you're into art collecting and you like Jaina Proudmoore, that's available for a hefty price of $5.
I thought you were gonna say like 100.
I actually don't know how much it is. It's already sold out apparently. So yeah, there's that. You had a chance, but it's already too late. But keep your eyes on the prize. There might be more coming down the road.
There's one every month, so
Yeah. But it looks like they're only doing 150 of them. So I guess you want to pay attention to Twitter for when they're going to announce these limited edition prints. Looks like Beck's got one, I think. She was pretty excited about it on Twitter. So that's cool. So we've got going into World of Warcraft news. We've got patch 8.1.5. Yeah, we're already there. Has been added to the PTR. No class changes yet. A lot of people still want class changes, but we've learned a little bit so far. We're getting the Koltiran and Zandalari allied race unlocks finally. People have been waiting a long time for those. And all you need to unlock those is Exalted with their faction. So if you haven't got that yet, it shouldn't take you too long to grind that out. The War Assaults will be transformed into Naga Invasions. Obviously preluding to patch 8.2. Cool stuff there. New portal rooms are being added to the faction capitals, which, at least from the Orgrimmar perspective, thank God they needed that, because I don't know what's going on in the underbelly area there, or the Cleft of Shout, whatever you call that place, but there's just portals all over the place. Finally just getting one big portal room in both faction capitals that'll have portals to literally everywhere. They're huge. So yeah, that'll be nice. Let's see. The next chapter of pet battle raiding with leashes. No idea what that means, but if you're into that, woohoo. Either of you guys know what that's about?
I think it's kinky pet battle raiding.
So okay, no. Okay, so you guys have the newer Pokemon games had the multiple, like there's 2 trainers versus 2 trainers or things like that. So what I'm thinking Blizzard's gonna do is have like 3 people or something like that. I'm not sure if there's actually details on this yet, but like I think it's just gonna be like a big boss, and then you and a couple other people use your pets, and then they fight the thing.
Okay,
That's
interesting.
Sweet. Yeah.
I totally forgot this was happening, but this is actually really cool. Warsong Gulch and Arathi Basin are getting revamped.
What?
Yeah, like everything will, like locations and stuff aren't changing, but they're getting graphics overhauled. So if you've been to like Arathi Highlands now, the new Arathi Highlands, how cool it looks, how detailed everything is, that's what, you know, Arathi Basin's going to look like. And same thing with Warsong Gulch. You can check out YouTube; they look amazing. Yes, I agree.
I'm an idiot. Raiding with leashes is actually an achievement to collect all of the pets from raids, and then you get a chime as the thing, as the reward for the achievement. So
Yeah.
I just gotta clarify that before
We're both
people
wrong.
call me.
It's not dual Pokemon battles and not kinky Pokemon battles.
I preferred kinky Pokemon.
I
Wait, that's better.
I actually just looked up the pet you get from it. It's what are the giant beings of light in Shadowrath?
the Naru.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's a Naru. That's what the pet is. So
Oh,
I
nice.
actually may go do those because that's cool as hell.
I may be interested in WoW pet battles when the Warcraft Go app comes out, because otherwise I don't know. Never really gotten into that myself. Let's see what else we got. New war campaign quests. So I was wrong, Britza. I guess that whole choose your faction leader between Sourfang or Sylvanas isn't in the game yet. I'm assuming this is when that'll happen. 8.1.5. New quests and questline focused on Magni, Haiti, the hunter pet. All you hunters who miss your pet, it'll be back. And the 8 non-gathering primary professions. So if you enjoyed the profession quest lines in Legion, you'll probably have something to look forward to.
I will point out that for those hunters who want Haiti back, the connection there is that you team up with Magni to kill Haiti and then skin him.
I don't think that's what's happening.
That's exactly how it is. That's why they're on the same line, Charlie. You skin Haiti for leather.
Okay, Britza has decrypted the patch notes here. He knows what's going on. I cannot believe it feels weird to say this, that we've already reached this point, but Warlords of Draenor time walking dungeons are coming into the game. Man, it feels like yesterday we were actually playing Warlords of Draenor. Remember, this show has been going on since before Warlords of Draenor came out. Feel old. There's a new brawl in Arathi Basin, a new brawl, which is Arathi Basin versus AI. This will be really interesting. It's like one team of players versus AI combatants in Arathi Basin. You might be like, what? But if you play the islands, you know those AI groups can be pretty interesting to fight against, right? So this is going to be a whole battleground team of those. So that might be pretty interesting.
No. You know what that means for the Horde? It means do the battleground right or we lose. Don't murder hobo your way to Blacksmith and go, why aren't we winning?
Yeah, Alliance might actually win some battlegrounds for once, and Horde will be like, what's happening?
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Winter Grasp is back, being added to the Epic Battleground list. So if you've missed doing Winter Grasp, congrats.
Is that bringing the Vault back then? So we can do the Vault raid? Or
I doubt it. I think it's just the Battleground. Let's see. New Dark Moon Fair roller coaster. Yep. It has no functionality other than being a roller coaster that you can ride on. You don't get anything for doing it, but yay.
Are you sure? It could give us a buff called Wii that gives us haste. the longer we write it.
Maybe.
Yeah, dev
That's-
Icarus.
it's
You
not
should be a dev.
not currently on the PTR, but maybe that'll get added in the
Hey,
future.
bro, that's why they should hire me. It'd be great.
And new micro holidays being added, and update to Children's Week. So that's all we have so far. Oh, and the Brawlers Guild. Brawlers Guild is back in 8.1.5. With, of course, all new bosses and stuff to collect. So that's what we have so far. It's going to be a minor patch, but that's still kind of a lot of stuff for a minor patch. And, of course, we will get class changes. We always do. They just have not done class changes yet. They're doing all these system things first and then working on class changes. I would expect patch 8.1.5 to come out early February, if I were to guess.
Mm-hmm.
Around the time that we've unlocked full the Zara Lore raid on PTR. Or on LFR, excuse me.
That'll be the end of February.
Or the end of February, I guess.
26.
Yeah.
What did you think about the reference to Ashran being a possible future epic battleground?
I don't know. I always thought Ashran had potential, but it was just always weirdly formatted when it was live in the game. But if they actually release it as a battleground you queue into and then you do it, I'd check it out.
Same here.
Yeah. We'll see how Wintergrass works out. I mean, if people are playing that, then I imagine they would also play Ashran, right? We'll see. So yeah, that's a decent sized patch. Look forward to that. And then of course a new balance patch again coming to Overwatch is now on the PTR. Definitely fear the Reaper in this one. Blizzard has decided that they are going to officially put an end to Deathball and Goats meta, which was all tanks and Brigitte focused. They want to get this patch out before the Overwatch League starts in February because everyone hates Brigitte, everyone hates Goats. So for me as a Brigitte main, I'm very sad by this patch. So let's see. First off, happening to Brigitte Rally, her armor now has a maximum duration of 30 seconds, so it is no longer persistent. You can't like pop it before a fight and then just have that armor when you go into a push. It will only stay on a target for 30 seconds, no more. So they're not changing anything else about Brigitte, but that just kind of weakens her ability to really push in and be a really divey healer. That in combination with making her do less damage and less shield bash, all of that. So I don't know. Playing Brigitte is going to be interesting. And then overall change to armor then is also being added. Damage reduction from armor reduced from -5 to -3. So just armor in general is getting weaker. So just overall making Goats less viable. Diva is also getting nerfed. Her defense matrix cooldown increased from 1 second to 2 seconds. At my level of play, probably won't make much of a difference, but apparently, according to Diva mains at the top end, this is huge. We'll see. But the big thing here is the change to Reaper. Reaper's lifesteal has been increased from 30% to 50% of all damage dealt. Reaper is going to get pretty scary. Because he's just going to... If Reaper is in range of you, you don't fight him. You have to run away because he is going to just be able to feed himself back to life by doing damage to you. This is basically a huge tank counter. This will basically... He will counter Goats straight up. Pretty interesting.
Honestly, I'm kind of happy to hear that because the few times I do end up playing Overwatch, it's usually like, oh, cool, 3 tanks. What do our team have? All damage. That's about what I thought.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you see a very tank-heavy comp, Reaper is going to be the go-to hero for that. I mean, he'll definitely be counterable still. I mean, Reaper, you just outdistance him, right? But he will be a very anti-tank hero now. So it's interesting. We'll see how the meta shapes up. Interesting this is coming into play right before Overwatch League. So we'll see what the meta looks like when that happens. Hello, Exter Wow in chat. Thank you for joining us.
Hey. It's also coming in presumably not long before we start to get a hint of the next hero.
Yep, Hero 30 is, as Jeff just said recently this week, Hero 30, the design is complete. They're just tweaking at this point. They have the full look and cosmetics and everything. So if anything is, if last year's anything to go by, we will know what the next hero is by the end of February again. So that's because that's when we got Brigitte.
Make it a tank. Another tank for the goats.
I'm thinking it's a tank. I don't know. I would guess main tank because we haven't gotten a main tank since Orisa. So I don't know.
It's hard to say because I think the community's looking for less. It's less the role and more the character. I think that we're starting to call out for. There's certain things that people in the community are asking for, and I think that's going to shape the feedback more than anything else, rather than the role. So
yeah,
we'll wait and see.
Wait and see. Yeah. Oh yeah. Also, what so remember last week we talked there was going to be some big surprise announced for Overwatch. Well, definitely an interesting surprise. So we got a new short story as well as an Ana event. The Ana event, basically, you just do kind of like the Diva event that happened a couple months ago. I kind of like this format. You just have to win 9 games and you get a new skin. And the Ana skin is pretty cool if you haven't checked it out yet. But that's not really the source of controversy. There is definitely a source of controversy coming out of this short story. It's kind of weird to address this controversy without seeming controversial. But so in this short story, there was a lot that happened, but the main focus of it was that Soldier 76 is gay. This caused a lot of controversy because it's not the fact that he's gay, but the way that they're just like out of nowhere, here's this announcement. It's kind of being heralded as like let's bring attention to Overwatch with some kind of story, right? And of course, maybe I'm wrong for saying this, but it doesn't seem to fit the character. It really kind of came out of nowhere. Maybe I'm wrong. What do you guys think?
There's not even skins that would even remotely give you the assumption of it. So, yeah, I kind of agree with you then.
There was a tweet that had the picture of him with his apron and his sort of socks in sandals look, and says that this is proof that not every gay person has great fashion sense. I did chuckle at that a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird, a weird controversial subject, but it's interesting. It's just kind of out of left field. It's just, I don't know. It just seems weird.
I think and it's really important to say that we're not picking this up or critiquing it because of, again, it's great that they're bringing more LGBT focus into Overwatch, and I was alluding to it when I said that people are looking at particular character traits for the next character. I mean, like, there's still a big focus on the fact that there's not really much black representation in the game yet, right, or things like that. So it's great that they're trying to fit it out, but you're right. I think the way they did it, it is a bit of a shock, and I think if you've got a game and you're championing it as a beacon of diversity in gaming, you would hope that you could, I don't know, create a more gentle landing for this sort of stuff. And it's not even wrong that it's not even a hard landing. It's just more of a case of, I'd rather they introduce it in a more slower pace. I don't know. That's not even what I'm trying to say. I don't know. I hope
a proper fashion, like,
I don't know. Like, it even made sense for Tracer. Like, they built it up and they told it in a nice way with the comic, the Christmas comic, the first year Overwatch was out.
But then that was dropped as well, wasn't it? That was just a panel. Suddenly, like, she was there next to what everyone probably thought was her friend, and then they started making out, and it's like, Tracer's gay. And I guess it's the same in a sense. So I guess, can we critique it for being a bit quick off the bat?
No, because they kind of, I feel like they threw a dart at a dartboard and it just landed on Soldier 76.
Like, it could have equally have been Torbjorn, you know?
No. This is my reasoning, guys. Isn't Zarya straight? And she looks like someone who would be considered homosexual, right? Why didn't they just use the already built character that everyone assumes is gay already? Like, it was there. I've seen the pictures of her laser shooting the gay pride flag.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't. This is kind of going down a dark rabbit hole.
Not really. It's 2019, well, I everybody. It's okay.
I don't even know how to approach this conversation without sounding like an asshole. So,
I think what we're trying to say is that we, as much as anybody else, want more diversity, or to celebrate diversity in Overwatch. But I think the way it should be introduced is in a way that seems a bit more ingrained throughout the story. So I guess people are expecting that if you're going to introduce more LGBT folks, it'd be nice to have that in the form of a new character rather than trying to. I don't know. I see. I'm saying that, and I'm not sure I agree with myself because I'm like, well, I don't know. I think we kind of I
actually agree. I definitely agree with what you're saying. It'd be better if you want to go for inclusive. Let's make it a new hero instead of just trying to make an old character that everybody already had their assumptions about. Like, flip it on its head. Like that's where it's kind of like a shock because nobody would have expected that for Soldier, right? Like it's not a big deal. It's not like it's a bad thing, but it's just like what?
But then you could argue that's maybe part of it, that it shows or reflects that people you wouldn't expect have certain traits do have them. So in that sense, it kind of really captures a part of diversity rather than just writing it. I mean, and that's where I think your point, Icarus, about Zarya is really at, because people make assumptions based on appearance, and here I think at least some people who are finding this a bit controversial are saying, well, hang on, he definitely doesn't seem like that sort of guy. And I think that's maybe kind of the point.
Props to Blizzard for creating this conversation. Right? Like they've definitely made people like go back and forth, right?
It's actually a super good way of putting it, Britza.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know, but I think again, and I think this is the backlash is partly fueled by people assuming this is a PR stunt to try and get people not focusing on BFA, and I think that's completely wrong because this must have been written and put together, or at least considered before things started to blow up. And also, it'd be really disgusting if that was actually what happened behind the scenes. But I think it's more a case of if you're trying to tell a diversity story, it has to be done in a bit more of a profound and consistent way than this. Mm-hmm. And I think, you have to, if that's the case, I want to see more regular stories that paint that picture. I think the problem is this is a moment in time, but it's a moment in time that isn't really complemented by anything else. And that's where it's kind of caught everyone off guard. It just seems like a sudden burst of diversity rather than a more mellow backing track of diversity, if that makes sense. So that's what I'd like to see, just more consistent backing diversity rather than a burst of it.
Yeah, very well said, Britza. Very well said.
Whew. Did we make that? Did we make it out of that without pissing anyone off?
I think so. I think we've done that, and I'm going to piss everybody off with the last remark on that because of a joke. Just the joke that you said that you found on Twitter beforehand. The easy way now to escape Soldier 76's ult is just play a female character because his ult will now only target male characters. All right, moving on. A discussion of the week. Britza, you brought up a topic here on player choice in games, so why don't you lead us into that?
Yeah. I kind of can't remember where I was going to go with this, but so we've got some player choice coming up in patch 8.1.5 in WoW, and I'm not going to spoil it, but there's info on WoW about a number of significant choices that Horde players are going to make. I mean, it's important to note that as it stands, Alliance players don't have anywhere as not much choice coming out, which I think poses some exciting possibilities for patch 8.2 and onwards. Mm-hmm. But needless to say, Horde players will have a lot of very binary sort of Mass Effect style choices to make later in the game. And I just wondered whether, we talked about this before about it actually being a cool way to develop story, but I just wondered how you felt about it as an actual storytelling mechanism, because something that I picked up from a Tauren and Goblin podcast a while ago is the idea of the lore of raids. Like, for example, if you go through Chronicle, it talks about the defeat of Illidan. Mm-hmm. But if I was to ask you guys, which faction actually beat Illidan? Was it the Alliance or the Horde?
It was a combined effort.
Was it though? Because you fight Alliance players in the flashback.
I think it actually was technically races of the Alliance.
Well, and
I'm going to look this up.
You could possibly argue it's a point of contention. I pretty much always, Blizzard says it's a combined effort. It's almost always been a combined effort, but it doesn't exclude the reality that one faction either got the world first, or your faction, you kind of project that your faction did it because you were there and you swung your axe into the Titan and you were definitely the one that killed it. And And I just wonder, when it comes to player choice like this in sort of modern day WoW, one consideration is, what's the true story? Like hypothetically, let's put it onto the Alliance. If it was a choice between going for Anduin or betraying Anduin and supporting Greymane in some weird hypothetical situation, what would be the true story? Well, I just wondered, like, as a storytelling mechanism, do you think it's going to work with WoW, or do you think it's just sort of a loose way of just keeping content fresh?
Yeah, that's an interesting point, because, like, as I've said before, like, games with player choice are like some of my favorite games of all time, like Life is Strange, for example. I think having a multiple choice narrative in a video game is really interesting. But I don't see how it can be true, like, multiple choice and multiple narrative in a game like World of Warcraft that is just persistent with at least 1 million players playing the game constantly. So how do you have genuine, authentic player choice in a game where everybody's doing the same thing, essentially? I love player choice, but yeah.
Huge.
What do you think, Icarus?
Sorry, I was looking up to see which faction actually killed Illidan or beat him, and they never actually specifically say, and I'm pretty sure that's on purpose.
Exactly. It was me. I did it, by the way.
Okay. Yeah.
Give me a quick rundown of what I'm supposed to be answering. A faction player choice is correct?
Yeah. I mean, what do you think of player choice?
Do you think it works in an MMO where everyone is supposed to have had a part to play, but nevertheless, player choice kind of spits in the face of that and says, well, actually, only one narrative could have really worked, surely.
Well, I think how they're doing is, like, depending on which choice you pick, you get a quest line for that, and I'm pretty sure at the end of both quest lines there'll be some sort of, like, point where they come back together, and then there's one quest line again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So regardless of our actual decision, we're making a decision that's more of flavor than anything.
Yeah.
Because neither of these people are probably going to be our next war chief. I can almost guarantee it won't. I guarantee it's not Sylvanas. She's going batshit crazy, and Saurfang is like the old dude of the group who's like, "Break America great again." It's like, all right, calm the fuck down, Saurfang.
Yeah. Vol'jin comes back to life. Yeah, maybe not so much Nikoma.
I would honestly rather have Vol'jin come back. Like, I've been rezzed before. Why can't he?
Very true. Very true.
Ooh.
But yeah, ultimately, I just don't see how player choice is anything more than just different flavored text for your questing in World of Warcraft. I don't think it could ever really be more than that.
Has anybody read a full quest log? I maybe read 2 paragraphs throughout 30 quests total.
I do, actually, because of the add-on I have called Immersion. It totally changes the quest dialogue where it pops up in, like, windows, and totally changes how questing looks. Feels more like an RPG.
I think I read quest text, like, at one point in 2011. I think I read a quest then. I can't remember.
I usually only do it for, like, the mainline story quest, but yeah.
Yeah.
Back when there wasn't add-ons and in-game help to tell you where to go, you actually had to read it.
Hashtag classic.
Yeah, well, is anyone really going to read those either?
You have to. You have to. I realized that during
Yeah. You can just run to places and just like, I have to get hearts from something. Well, that thing has a heart. I'm going to keep killing that until it gives it to me. And that's how I leveled.
Yep.
But
you kill 30 boars to get 5 boar hearts because, 25 of them just didn't have hearts, apparently.
No. Okay, so
I know they say it. Yeah. You damaged the heart.
There's a quest in the Barrens that everyone makes fun of because you have to kill the zebra things and collect their hooves, and you're like, how come none of them are dropping hooves? Because they have 4 hooves? Well, guys, during the fight with the beast, you damaged that part of the body. That's how I always attributed that.
Yep.
I'm just going to whip out the old World of Warcraft player guide that I bought 10 years ago. I'm just going to see if that tells me how to do it. So. But
anyway,
going back to what you were saying, I was just going to say your point about how player choice can only really, in a sense, be cosmetic.
Mm-hmm.
It just reshapes the quest and brings us back. That's the thing that frustrates me, because I agree we've kind of got to come back to some sort of unified position, but I don't think it needs to be, so to speak, just colouring, or it has to be redressed just by the text. Because again, I'm not going to say what it is, but the stuff that happens in 8.1.5 for the Horde, those are some pretty major choices, and if they don't have major ramifications, then I don't see what the point is for them. And the other side to it is, I would say, well, what's wrong with having a character go off in a complete tangent from the main story? Because then you could replay it with an alt.
I have a question.
Yeah.
We're still talking about Blizzard, right? The company that told its players, you guys don't know what you want to have fun. Yeah. So I can't imagine a situation where they're like, all right, we're going to give the people the choice to do this. And I can just imagine in the back of that dude's head, he's laughing as he goes for 2 quests. And then they go back to, like, not to sound super negative, but
a way you can do it though, like thinking like there's Star Wars, The Old Republic. That is an MMO where your entire leveling experience has different choices, where your character goes on its own path based on choices that you make. And even the dungeons where you're in a group, you still make choices, and then it does a vote, like a random roll, and whoever rolls the highest percentage, that person's choice is how the dungeon progresses. And then the dungeon will have a different ending. So Star Wars is actually a good example of how player choice actually can work in an MMO, but they're totally different. Like, that game is really focused on your character as an individual and that character's storyline as an individual, where World of Warcraft, your character is part of a greater whole storyline. But I guess that is an example of how multiple choice can work in an MMO.
Actually, Blizzard could do it because they have been introducing this cross-realm things. So they literally could just put you in different phased areas with other people
based on the choices.
Similar.
Yeah.
So I guess you'd never be in an empty world unless one pathline was just never taken.
So there you go, Blizzard. Hire us. We have the ideas. But on that note, we are running out of time, so I'm going to bring us into the best part of the show, obviously, everyone's favorite. It's time for Blizzard 20 questions.
Geeks of Azeroth, the moment has arrived. Have you studied the lore? Studied the lore? I am the lore! It's time for Blizzard 20 questions.
That's right. It's time for Blizzard 20 questions. Hey, Siri, set a timer for 10 minutes.
Oh, God.
Okay, your timer is set for 10 minutes.
There we go.
Shut up, Siri.
Icarus has the answer this time. I've got the question, or we've got the questions. Fritza, let's do this. Is this from Warcraft?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
There we go.
It originally was not going to be, but then again, you guys don't play Heroes, and I don't think you would have gotten the Angry Cloud Mount. So I moved on to my second one.
Well, Fritza plays Heroes.
Yeah, admittedly, I haven't played it since the announcement, so I feel like I've actually done a terrible disservice to Heroes. But hey ho, is this a character in Warcraft?
No, it's not a character in Warcraft.
Not a character. Is it an item?
No.
Okay, a bit of hesitation there. Not an
Well,
item.
I was thinking about how I wanted it to be presented, and I'm assuming when you think about this thing, it's not considered an item, but it would be in your bag. There's your hint.
Oh yeah, it's in it. Our next question would have been, could you put it in an inventory slot? Is it a weapon?
It is not a weapon.
Ugh.
Is it like mounts technically go in your bag before you like click on them, and they're not. So is it a mount?
It is a mount.
Oh,
Well done, Charlie. Is this a mount that was was put into the game in Legion or later?
No. All right, guys. This is the key point in the game. Your questions can either screw you now or lead you to the victory.
How can I sabotage Charlie?
Hey, has this mount been in the game since Cataclysm or after?
No.
Okay.
Has this mount been in the game since vanilla?
Yes.
Been in the game since vanilla, so that answers Alessander's question that at least it's not a flying mount.
Oh no, yeah. Ooh, yeah, good point.
Well, there are classic mounts that can technically fly. All right, wait, hold on. Let me think about that.
Flying was not a thing in Classic.
No. I'm thinking like they're
Like
on Nixie's
like
Lair was
Griffins.
out, but I think they added the ability to fly. No, Griffins were BC.
Okay,
Yeah, sorry,
so-
but you're not counting like a Flight Master Griffin as a mount, so to speak. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so a vanilla mount. Is this a faction-specific mount?
No.
Words out.
Okay.
Is this a racially specific mount?
No.
That's 10.
We've only got like 500 mounts to choose from.
As Alessander puts in chat, acquired from. Sorry, I had to make fun of spelling there for a second. Is this acquired from a vendor?
No.
Okay, we know where we got ahead with this then.
So it's got to be like
to
a
name individual mounts. Get it? Does this drop from an instance boss?
It is not dropped from an instance boss.
What?
Oh boy.
You don't get it from a vendor, and it doesn't drop from an instance boss.
It could drop from a world boss. Did mounts drop from world bosses? No.
When was
You
the
guys
world
are
boss?
just gonna have to ask the right questions. I also have a bunch of fun facts for you if you do guess it. So,
Addison, I will save your name begins one for a moment because I think we need to try and because I can't see how that would get us anywhere.
5 minutes.
7 questions.
How else do you get
Alice, okay, I'm going to trust Alessandra on this. Does the name of this mount begin with start between the letters A and M?
Yes.
Okay.
Go on, Alessandra.
We're trusting in Alessander for this
Trusting you
one.
here.
I think he already knows what it is.
She.
Gee, my bad.
In the world of the internet, we are one. One mind, one body. What could we put? A quest mount? Is there such
Is
thing
this a
in
quest
vanilla?
reward mount?
It does come from a quest.
Okay, all right.
Yes. Now we just got to narrow it down by quest. How many quests were there in vanilla?
Is this A through H, I guess.
Yes.
A through H, okay.
Okay, but that's not going to help us because we don't know where we're.
There are
What it
5,000
looks like or
mounts
anything.
apparently in vanilla.
5,000 mounts.
Was this
in vanilla.
mount acquired on Kalimdor?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, right. We got to be careful here, though.
Yeah, we are down to 3 questions.
God.
Starts with the letter A through H, acquired on Kalimdor, not faction specific from a quest. How can it be a mount not faction specific acquired from a quest? That's tying me up here.
Oh, hang on.
Oh God, the wheels are turning.
No, they're not. They're not really. I looked at A and thought Argent Dawn, and maybe Argent Dawn.
Is
has
it
this?
Thunder Fury, blessed
No.
mount of the Windseeker? I'm just kidding.
That should
not even-
so be a thing, shouldn't it?
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Is it a PvP mount? But no, because those are required.
Nope.
No. I didn't
Nope,
ask
that was a
doesn't
question,
count.
and
No.
I answered it. That counts.
Alessandra, you betrayed us.
Oh, how much time we got? 3
That's
minutes.
many. Yeah, we've got 3 questions. Great. Okay, let's take our time with this one.
Rip. Nakumo, you're not helping at all. Come on. I need you.
I think I was staying well away from this, which is a good idea. Quest? What quest? I don't know.
Not so either faction can obtain it.
You get it in Kalimdor, right?
I really want to
hang on.
say some stuff, but like I know it'll immediately give it away.
Oh, so it doesn't drop from an instance boss, but I bet it's an instance quest. Not enough to
Is it an instance quest?
No,
reward.
wait, I'm double checking that.
Because like I was thinking too. Is like, is there like a dire maul mount or something?
No, it was not. It is not an instance quest.
Okay, it couldn't be I was thinking of one of the beetles from AQ, but it couldn't be that.
I heard finger snapping. That was a good. Oh, no,
Yeah, I was thinking it could be like the AQ beetle, but no, there's no way.
Okay. Jesus.
Can this mount still be acquired today?
No.
Charlie, how does that help?
Well, that means you can't go back and get this mount now, right?
Okay, that's fair enough. I'm with you that. So this is it. This is our last question. We've got to guess it.
We do. Okay, to summarize, it's a mount that starts with somewhere between A through H, not a PvP mount, not an instant. It's a quest reward mount, not faction specific, but not an instance quest, not an instance boss, and it can't be acquired today.
Did we say vendors can't give it either?
Yep, it's not a vendor. It can't be vendored. So it's specifically a quest reward that is apparently not around today from vanilla, acquired on Kalimdor.
I'm gonna go with it's. I mean, I'm not saying it's the answer. But
Wait, hold on. We're backing up.
Oh no!
You do go into instances for the quest, but
Yeah.
it's not an instance quest specifically.
Yeah.
That doesn't help.
I reckon
Well,
it's.
that's what you get. I'm clarifying myself.
I think it's some sort of weird Kodo or something like that. But I don't.
Fuck.
Which one? I have no idea. This is a good one. This is.
This is good. Maybe
This was the easier of the three in my head.
Icarus, you always have the most challenging ones. I swear to God.
My first one was the hero's mount. My second one was the Peeps whistle, which is the GM's mount that looks like the ashes of Alar. And this was my third choice because it was like we're on a time crunch here.
10 seconds.
You give up?
Oh,
Black
Is
Karaji
it-
Beetle.
Fuck! Yes.
Woo! Nakumo, you
It's the
saved
Black
the day.
Entourage Resonating Crystal. You get it from the Bang of the Gong quest, which no. Fun fact. So you had to be the first person to complete the Bang the Gong quest, or 10 hours after to receive the Mount and the Scarab Lore title.
Oh my God,
I
Nekuma,
want to
thank
marry
you so much. You saved the day.
So, also, fun fact, you could actually click on this mount to mount it before combat ended, and as long as the end of the cast ended after combat ended, you could mount the mount. So it was for quick runs and stuff like that. Also, fun fact, you can use this mount while falling for some fuck all reason.
All right.
They actually ended up patching all these fun bits out throughout BC, Wrath, and Legion, and Legion they turned the mount back from legendary to a normal mount. So fuck everybody, I guess.
I love the fun facts at the end of this.
Yeah, I like it.
We make that
Yeah, I'm
All right, that
fun
about
fact
does it,
now.
though. We are out of time. Thank you, everybody, for listening to Geeks of Azeroth. You can always find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, and right here on twitch.tv/Geeks of Azeroth every Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. You can also catch us on Twitter at Geeks of Azeroth. You can find me at Epic Geeks Tarly. Ritza, where can we find you?
You can find me at Britzer_EG. And as a heads up, we may have some news that this podcast will be on a new platform soon, but stay tuned.
Yep. And Icarus, what about you?
You can find me here next time.
And of course, you can always contact the show. Questions, messages, fan mail, hate mail, whatever. Send it to geeksofazerotheg@gmail.com. Otherwise, we'll see you guys same time, same place next week. Bye-bye.
This week in StarCraft at IEM Katowice 2019, Patience, Innovation, and Maru qualified from North America. Special, Neve, and Euthermal qualified from the EU, and they will join Serral, the 2018 global champion. Trap, Ragnarok, Cure, Bunny, Sue, Alive, Hero, and Solar have advanced in the first round of 2 Korean qualifiers. Group stages will begin February 28th with finals on March 3rd. The NI qualifiers saw a 50% increase in participants compared to 2018. WCS Winter 2019 announcements. 3 separate qualifiers will be held on the European servers on January 17th, 18th, and 20th. The top 8 from each will move to the European round of 32. 2 separate qualifiers will take place on the America servers on January 15th and 20th. A third qualifier will be run on the Asia server on January 19th. The Africa TV StarCraft League Season 7 group stages will begin on Sunday, January 13th, hosted by Africa TV, and play every Sunday and Tuesday at 7 p.m. The GPL 2018 Grand Finals are the conclusion of the 2018 Chinese Gold Series. 4 players chosen by 2018 WCS Circuit standings competed for the most prestigious trophy in China. January 11th and 12th, Time will face Tudeming in the finals. At the OSC Battle of the Americas, North America vs. Latin America Finals, Neve from the US defeated Special 4-2. The OSC Championship 6 finals take place January 13th, featuring Gumiho vs. Guru. The StarCraft II BJ Destruction Team League Season 2 finals took place with Team Argola second place, led by Sue, defeating the powerhouse team Fly Jet Air. In the Masters Coliseum 4, which is a Chinese online invitational tournament, Sue defeated Parting 4-3. Sue's legendary curse seems to be well and truly broken for 2019. In StarCraft AI news, Probot 2019 Season 3 has begun. All of the Probot action happens Mondays and Wednesdays starting from January 7th at 7:30 p.m. EST on the ES Champ Twitch channel. The Pizza Pie Weekly number 52 was won by Raze 2-0 over Nitro. Numerous changes are being made to the Pizza Pie Weekly in 2019, including the return to a bi-weekly status, but offering a cash prize in addition to the pizza, which now includes an additional topping and pizza points for all entrants that go towards qualification at an end-of-the-year Grand Finals. In the Bombastic Star League Season 5 Finals, Eon Zerg defeated Monith 4-2, and the Season 6 ladder stage is underway. And that's your week in StarCraft.